Milk.
Milk. I just want you to know that that's the first thing that stream heard.
Good.
Love it. Excellent. Really setting us off on the right foot.
For sure.
Or hoof, I guess.
Or hoof.
We're talking about elk.
Face cams are go!
Courtney, I'm going to send you a banger. You don't have to listen to it till after stream, but it is a banger.
I appreciate you, dear. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. There it is.
Oh my darling Clementine.
Oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that to a tune.
You were?
Yeah, you absolutely were. I really thought that was intentional.
Nope.
I had to finish your tune for you.
Because...
couldn't just leave that hanging.
No, yeah. I was like, why do we do that? But no. If someone says, even if someone just says, shaving a haircut, and I don't finish it with 2 bits, like a part of me dies.
Something will feel missing all day.
All day.
Like the moment you said it, I had to yell 2 bits. Like it's important.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, thank you for your patience, guys. Computer's stupid. Sometimes that happens. And computer is stupid.
We were a little choppy last night, so I'm also going to keep an eye on that. Yeah, like Streamlabs does not like us right now.
I'm going to blame Mercury. I don't know if it's retrograde. I'm going to blame it anyway.
It's not. It's stationary, but I'm involved, so if it's stationary, then it's going to act like it's retrograde.
It's still Mercury's fault.
I'm just going to blame Mercury overall.
All my homies hate Mercury.
The moon's in Cancer right now, though, isn't it?
Sagittarius, I thought. Moon's in Sagittarius. Sun's in Leo.
Oh, the moon's in Sagittarius.
This is a D&D show. Hi, welcome.
Welcome to our Dungeons and Dragons show, where we also sometimes talk about astrology. Hi, meow.
Well, it is space. It is space related.
It's on theme.
It's not untheme, correct?
I mean, that's literally Crystal's thing. So
if the moon is ever in your eye like a big pizza pie,
that's a...
Oh no, wait, the moon's in Capricorn.
The moment you started talking, I was like, if he starts talking about the fucking pizza pie, I'm screaming.
That's amore. Amore eel.
There was I was at the zoo.
I have zero chill for it.
I was at the zoo on last Monday.
I can't get it out of my head.
Last Monday, and they have moray eels there. And creepy. There was we were standing in front of one of the places where one of the moray eels comes out, and the little kid was like, "What is that?" And his mom goes, "I don't know." And I said, "That's amore."
Fuck you. Amore. Do you have any idea how quickly I would have turned around and left you in that portion of the aquarium out of just sheer instinct of, no, God, I have to go away. I have to leave right now.
Time to go.
Oh, God.
And she kind of looked at me for a second. She's like, I was like, "It's a moray eel." Yeah. That's amore.
It's exactly like John Mulaney at Best Buy with his first wife.
You're never gonna get a Best Buy rewards card.
Do you want a Best Buy rewards card? No. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely not.
Do you...
Welcome to Tuesday at Amateur Hour, where we play Cygnus A. It's our sci-fi D&D portion of the week.
Extravaganza.
I think I just had a stroke.
No.
You did not.
Thanks. Thank you for the validation that I didn't.
Small big.
Do you smell toast?
That's too many instructions, I think.
I wonder if anybody's ever been given a stroke.
I feel like if someone was actually having a stroke and we were like, smile really big, do you smell toast? That just would make the situation
probably make things a lot worse, yeah.
Spoiler alert, I woke up without half of my face working, and guess what I did? I smiled big and I tried really hard to smell toast.
I tried really hard to smell toast, and it didn't work. Didn't fix anything.
Yelling at you
try hard to smell toast. You just, if you smell toast.
You tell that to my panic.
That sounded like to my pants.
I was like, to your pants?
Oh, that's my
You know he's
pants.
not wearing any.
He's
Go
wearing
back to my
panic pants. Everybody knows.
Panic pants. I want panic pants.
That's what you keep by the front door in this day and age for when you actually have to sign for a fucking package or accept some sort of delivery from a real person.
I was
These are
thinking
my
like
panic pants.
I was thinking like sweatpants that are also cargo pants that are full of like necessities for when you're having a panic attack.
Oh yeah.
My panic pants are just chef pants at this point in my life.
They're just my regular pants.
They're just regular pants.
They're heat resistant.
Just the pants that I wear.
They're heat resistant.
So,
Excellent segue.
yeah.
Real quick, my MC name would be Big Papa Panic Pants. Now we can D&D.
Or now we can D&D.
No.
Unless anybody else has anything else to slide in. I don't want to stop that. I just had to get that out,
No.
or I would have brought it up 10 minutes into us trying to do stuff.
Now you're gonna drop a beat, and then we'll D&D to that beat. That's gonna happen.
That sounds difficult.
I just hear no, and that sounds difficult. I mean, whatever. You guys don't want to try. I guess we won't.
We broke Sarah.
That happens sometimes.
It happens usually.
That's our favorite thing to do is break Sarah. So
It's really not that hard.
it's not, which is why
Not
I
when
like
you're
doing
this
it.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Duh.
Not when you're as funny as this crew.
Yes, the crew of the Courteous Pelican. Introduce yourselves, starting with Amanda Petzold. And
Oh.
today's warm-up question: what is your character's favorite fantasy or sci-fi film?
Does it
Anything
have
that has been made up until this point is in canon.
Okay. Sci-fi or fantasy? Okay, so my name's Amanda. I'm playing Iris, who is our Order of the Scribes wizard. Goodness, what would her favorite sci-fi fantasy film be? I have no idea. My brain feels like mush.
That's fair.
I
I
I'm
literally
also-
just Googled sci-fi fantasy films to refresh my brain.
Well, that's
I
a
am
great
including
idea.
shit like Space Jam.
immediate blank. Like
That's a science fiction.
Okay, so fantasy, are we including like
God damn it.
like medieval fantasy
Yeah.
type? Okay. Iris would enjoy specifically the Drew Barrymore Cinderella.
Ooh.
There you go.
Ever After.
Is that Ever After? Yes.
That's one of my absolute favorites as well.
It's a good one.
That's Courtney talking, not Crystal.
Por qué no los dos?
I don't think Crystal's seen it.
Maybe.
In
Iris
the
might watch it.
thousands of years, hundreds of years you've
Crystal
lived.
hasn't watched a lot of film,
That's
Maybe
fair.
Iris made her watch it.
potentially. She'd like it if Iris made her watch it. She wouldn't, like, get it, because the whole film is about miscommunication,
Mm-hmm.
and she does not understand why people do that.
Listen, neither do I.
Because she straight up just lies about who she is. And Crystal's like, why?
Why
Stop.
would you need to do that?
Just be you. He likes you. So why does it matter that she is of lower? I'm very confused.
My brains are dumb.
I like
that's
this
why.
dynamic as like exactly what would happen on movie nights.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then Crystal, what would yours be?
Fifth Element.
That tracks.
Also tell me about Crystal.
Oh, hi, I'm Courtney. I play Crystal. Crystal is a immeasurably old pallid elf, and a Circle of the Stars druid. Part-time statue, full-time friend.
Part-time statue. Full-time friend.
That's so.
Splash of cryptid.
A little bit cryptid.
That's so fucking cute.
Everyone wants to be a cryptid. At least I want to be a cryptid.
I also don't mind.
Prompted by a conversation with Sarah, I made a list of things on my Crystal character document of things that Crystal will always do. And one of them is read or spread rumors about herself as a cryptid. Like, she loves to find out that she is known as a cryptid on a planet and, like, wants to find out all the weird shit that she's known for.
I would love to be known as a cryptid.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 1 on that list is splash in rain puddles, which is how she got the rain puddle.
Fuck yeah.
2 is wild shape for comedic or sensory effect. Number 3 is read and spread rumors about herself as a cryptid. Top 3 things.
Hell yeah. Dexter.
Dexter. Hi, I'm Dallas. That was an awful voice crack.
Dallas.
Wowzers.
It was cute.
My name's Dallas.
I thought it was
McMurphy.
My name's Dallas.
I think you should keep the voice crack.
Dexter's favorite sci-fi movie would be 12 Monkeys because it's about one man trying to do the right thing and falling in love, and it ends super fucking sad.
Oh.
That's depressing, but cool.
Hey man, I didn't make the character.
Yes, you did.
Oh wait.
My buddy, my guy. Fun fact.
Don't get to use that.
In case you didn't know.
In case you were not previously aware, you did actually.
You did do
create
this.
This
Did
was
make this.
100% your fault.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
Love
DNA
you.
test says that you are.
Sounds
the father.
fake, but okay.
Sounds fake, but okay. You are the father.
I don't know why I heard you say that in like the same voice as the lady from The Weakest Link.
You are the Winky.
Oh, the father.
It should have been
Goodbye.
Maury, but you know.
Yeah. Well, no, I watched a lot of both. Anyway.
Doesn't Maury sound like those robots sometimes? You are the father.
He could be an android.
Yeah.
That'd be so.
With
The
that
jury is not
mustache-
necessarily out on that.
He'd be a good android. He'd be a good CIA.
Steppy,
Alright,
tell me
so-
about yourself.
Oh, thank you for asking. So my name's Steppy. I'm a gecko person. That's gonna be like a whittle lizard person. So I look like a gecko. And I'm small.
Whittle.
I'm about a little taller than 4 foot. Give myself like 4 foot. I think it was like 4'5", 4'6"
Yeah.
as it was. And yeah, I'm a little fucking nerd. I love mushrooms. I'm a mushroom druid. I've been setting up a little sanctuary for him, a little habitat. You know, it's starting to be my life's work. My favorite movie. I looked up mushroom sci-fi movies because, like, I feel like that's what he'd be into. And I found this Japanese movie called Matango, and apparently it's about a shipwreck survivors like turning into mushroom people and attacking the natives.
I'd watch that.
So
I can't believe you found that.
the 1963 movie. I'm gonna watch it in person now, so I'll let y'all know how it is.
Good call.
Please give us a full review.
It's not.
I
It's not
absolutely-
bad. There have been worse movies made in the last 10 years. That's why I'm genuinely like, how the fuck?
I hope that I can find it with subtitles, because if not, it's gonna be a confusing ride for me. But I'll still be there. But yeah, so that's Steppy.
Who needs words when you have mushroom?
Honestly, listen, I don't know how many people who are a fan of hallucinogens that would agree with you. Steppy, not one of them, actually. He's straight edge. But he has mixed up mushrooms by accident and bet God.
As
But
have we all.
That's a separate story, and that, that was an honest accident.
It happens to everyone.
It happens to everyone.
Laughing at anybody.
Trinity, tell me about Mara.
Hi, I play Mara, a warlock fighter. Human warlock fighter.
Who apparently makes the worst sounds imaginable.
What?
The sound you made before you started talking was just one of the worst sounds I've ever heard a human make.
That was my. I don't have. I have too many answers.
I think it would be very in character for Mara to have like a top 3.
Well, so here's the problem. Mara's still
Hates
very
noodles,
much
loves
like,
movies.
Can we do top 3s? I feel like Dexter's the type of guy that would insist on a top.
So Mara is still like, she wouldn't have come into a lot of movies until being on the ship, and so just seeing a bunch, like,
I feel like Iris would organize.
He's having a hard time trying to decide between, do I like the kids movies of like Treasure Planet because it's fascinating, or do I like Annihilation because it's like
because it's what you long to do.
Like scary.
Oh my
so
girl.
Me personally, I have not got through that whole movie because I don't like things jumping out at me. I'm like, I had a friend of mine who was like, "This isn't a scary movie," and so my friend and I sat down to watch this movie with her, and I think we made it to the second big monster jumping
Your friend
out,
lied
and I
to
was,
you.
and it was like 11 p.m. and both of us were just like, "Nope, we're done. We're putting on like fucking some Disney princess movie because I'm not going to."
Cleanser.
It's worse when you go into a jumpy movie not expecting it to be a jumpy movie.
Absolutely.
Warn me.
Fine.
Just warn me.
Well, like,
how hard?
We had her explain the books to us, and we're just like, that's absolutely a scary. That's, of course, it's going to be a scary movie. She goes, the books aren't that scary. I'm like,
okay, but there's a difference between book scary and movie scary.
So, I don't do jumpy, but from what I've seen of Annihilation, that would be Mara's movie. Between that and then like the kids movie of like Treasure Planet and like WALL-E.
WALL-E.
Just because it would like that part would remind her of her little thing and like the weird stuff and being like, oh right, these are ships.
Fucking love that. All right. So, with our party introduced, we return to all of you having recently spent some time settling into your new digs on the Courteous Pelican, very graciously provided to you by your captain, pilot, Hoban, and a little quick drop-off of a basket of send-off goods from the Miller sisters, as well as you are getting ready to set off Neo Gaia and head into deep space to travel to Ogelaria.
Deep space.
I do forget. Did we stop off with you guys just leaving planet?
Yes.
I believe we had just taken off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we ended up with Iris and Mara
and Crystal.
And I think Crystal. Oh yes, in the hot tub.
Yeah,
as it were.
In the bathroom that's right next to the kitchen, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So how long would you guys spend in there?
A good couple hours.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Crystal takes several hours.
Mara's probably the first one out then.
Mara's like, I'm done with the soup.
Soup is done. We're done now.
Soup
I mean,
done now.
she's used to like hot springs and stuff, so
yeah.
Yeah, she's just like, all right, cool,
Perfect.
I'm out.
All right. My brain is running as fast as it can.
Bruh, I feel you though.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with Steppy?
Do you have too many Adobe programs open at once in your brain?
Can't make that real. So, Dexter, what would you be doing with your definitely first hour? First hour of travel.
Probably just focusing on the technical manuals. He would want to get as up to snuff as he can be on any changes to the ship.
Yeah. Going through those manuals in the bridge, on the bridge with
Hoban.
Pilot Hoban. Yeah. So
More like homie bond.
Excited.
I'll take that inspiration away.
That's fair. That's totally fine.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Actually, hold on. Could I roll for...
For what? For what?
For
We need to
reading
roll for
good? Could I roll for reading good with my inspiration for advantage? Before you take it away, you monster!
No.
He went from
Unnecessary.
wait, give me advantage on getting it
Unnecessary.
Alright, fine. No advantage.
So it's about mid to late evening in your body's REM cycle time, and Mara, you step out of the tub to let Iris and Crystal continue to stew in this bubble tub.
Yeah, Mara would have got out as soon as she started getting pruny. She's like, I don't.
Oh, so like
nope.
5 minutes?
like 30 minutes.
Okay. Because like some of us prune very quickly. Let me tell you.
Same.
I mean, somewhere around 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah. What would you have wanted to shift to doing in that 30 minutes then? Just around the ship.
I mean, she would have walked by probably Dexter's door, saw he was busy, and then either where's Andy?
Make an investigation check.
Oh no.
He's very quiet.
Just very soft beeps and boops.
As you head back towards the rooms and you see that Dexter is not in his room, he's up on the bridge with the pilot. And you also notice that Andy, your android, is not sitting in Dexter's
17.
room listening to whatever Dexter had said on. As you recognize, okay, Andy's not in here, I should really go see like where he's at. You head back to the bathroom, kitchen, dining area, and hear Crystal and Iris talking and splashing about. And then you hear some shifting in one of the cabinets.
I am
Okay.
become a box of cookies.
I open the cabinet.
Yeah, it's one of the taller cabinets. It's right next to the
I
fridge.
get
It'd
a
be like a
step
pantry.
stool and I open the cabinet.
You need a step stool to just get up to the top. No,
I don't know.
Can just pull.
I just assume it's a tall cabinet.
It's a long cabinet. It's like a floor to ceiling cabinet with a handle
Okay.
midway.
Oh, okay.
And
Let's just say Mara's like not steppy short, but she's pretty short.
yeah, it's a like closer to waist shoulder grab than it
Okay.
is to a hip grab for you.
Gotcha.
But you go to open the cabinet, and as it opens, you look down and you see a bunch of planks of wood sitting out off to the side. As you open it, you see Andy in like his sweet tuft of red hair, unblinking eyes, and the green and black suit that he wears, just standing in that pantry.
Just not like. Okay, so she'll open it. Hello.
You hear a as different parts of Andy's system begins to wake up. And his eyes get that backlit glow to them that tells you that he is online and operational. Hello. My
Hi.
name is Andy. How can I help you today?
Hi, Andy. You busy?
I was sleeping.
Do you want to continue sleeping?
If
I'll
you
take
do
that
not
as-
need me,
I mean, I was gonna show you some things.
I like to see things.
Okay.
I like
I like to learn.
Perfect. Let's go learn. And
He
Mara's
steps out of the pantry.
gonna lead him to the dojo.
Okay. All right.
And then she's, Andy, do you know how to protect yourself?
This is a great question. Does he know how to protect himself? What a question you've asked him.
Andy just goes, huh?
Andy says, "Hi, I'm Andy."
Hi, I'm Andy.
You ask him if he knows how to protect himself, and he sort of puts his fists up mechanically.
Okay.
He just waits.
So if Mara slowly like comes to the slide and comes at him, does he move at all?
Yeah, he'll like track you.
Okay. She's going to step around and act move her fist to slowly to tap him, knock his chest or his shoulder or something, and see what he does.
How quickly are you coming at him with it?
Seeing he's tracking her and she's not wanting to. She's coming at him kind of this slow. Of okay,
yeah.
How are she's learning about him.
yeah. Mara's moving around. She's getting a nice tracking movement, and rather than going in for a full punch, you're just going for it.
Yeah, she's starting slow.
And Andy, without moving his fists, his arms, watches as your fist taps his chest.
Okay.
And he's watched you very slow motion punch him. And he looks up back at you. Ow?
It's not meant to hurt. We're do you know what sparring is?
I do not.
So it's
He said kill me or don't, doesn't he?
So sparring, do you know what a hostile person is? Or in creature, individual, can you recognize a hostile?
You know what? No, he doesn't.
Okay.
He does not. You say hostile, and he repeats the word back, and repeats it, and it's integrating into his mental dictionary as a word.
Okay, so a hostile. Dexter's gonna love Mara. So a hostile is someone that's trying to cause you or the party harm. Right now, I am not a hostile. But sparring is between two individuals where they're practicing defense against hostiles. Does that make sense?
Make a persuasion roll.
Ooh, I'm
not
really good at those.
Because it's not, and this isn't necessarily like a true persuasion roll, because you're not really persuading him to like do one or anything. What you're doing is you're trying to get your message across to someone that has absolutely no reason to take your message in.
How's a 30 do?
Fucking great. Fucking great. It does fucking great. He processes and goes, a hostile creature hurting my friends must be eliminated.
Their attacks must be prevented. We have first Dexter rule. Hold on. Let me pull up the right notes, please.
While you pull that up, and speaking of, Dexter, while you're going through the manuals with Hoban, and he's every so often he sort of leans over and he's like, "Hey, can you figure out what this diddly do thing is? It's got like a weird shape. It's an octagon. I don't know why it wouldn't be a hexagon, but it's an octagon." Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. That's a 16 on a 15. Oof.
It could have been worse.
Could have been considerably worse.
So, as you start to like flip through the manual, I'm like, okay, I think I saw an octagon looking thing earlier. One of the portions of the port side wall, just behind Hoban, this sort of cylindrical, there are a couple of different portions of the walls in the bridge that are like half circles set into the walls. You hear one of these circles start to crackle like static on a TV or a radio. And you start to hear Steppy. And Steppy, you are back at the Dino Yard, a shipyard, having just checked in with the owner and some of the mechanics, because this was where Hoban had told y'all to be, and having heard that, oh, they have left planet, that's fine. Hoban gave me the ship's number. So in your personal pad, you type in the number to the ship. Roll a d20 for me.
I suppose.
Just to see how clearly you come in.
So at some point before Steppy got on the ship, I remember the last session, we did talk about Iris and Mara giggling and trying to break into Steppy's room.
Oh, absolutely.
Just took flat d20.
So that had to have happened at
19.
some point.
That was before the bath.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Right after B and Lottie drop off the care package, and right before y'all get into the jacuzzi tub. So, Steppy, you have a crystal clear line from your communicator to the ship itself to check in. And
I'm sorry, do we have a teleportation pad?
Do we have a teleportation pad?
You do have a teleportation pad.
Oh,
you do have a teleportation pad.
Beam me up,
the system
Scotty.
of it.
I was just thinking that.
The system behind it being each ship has its own personal cell phone number, effectively. That so long as you can dial into the private number, someone on that ship can then buzz you in.
Rock and roll.
Swanky.
Yeah.
Whoop de whoop.
So
Love that. For
basically, Steppy not being super like mechanically savvy is just gonna like lean in and just be like,
So this is the number I was supposed to call. Sorry I'm late. They deal with some creatures. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you what.
And Dexter, you see in that half cylinder on the wall, you see a hologram of Steppy, full size, as he's like speaking into the phone like a boomer.
yeah, exactly like a boomer.
Oh, I got him.
Young as fuck, acting like an 80-year-old right now.
Part of why I'm mad about boomers right now. It's because I went into a dispensary.
Oh God, I didn't hear this story yet. And I'm so excited.
I just walked into a dispensary. I was wearing a mask because like the county numbers in Dodge are fucking wild. So I didn't want to take anything from my county to a different county. You know how you do. You know how you want to protect
Be a sensible
people.
human being, yeah.
So we walk in, and this group of like 3 boomers, and I can tll that they are boomers not just by their age, not just by the way that they're dressing, not just by the way that they are giggling like they are teenagers buying weed for the first time, but also by the fact that one of them had their text alert as the Roadrunner Meep Meep. That was the point where I was like, oh, okay, so y'all are just staring. Y'all are just gonna stare at me because you're like that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. See someone walk in with a cupcake and crossbones. Whatever. Anyway. Thank you for letting me get my vitriol about boomers out here.
I appreciate your vitriol about
welcome.
boomers, to be honest.
Truly.
So yeah, you see Steppy, and the two of you can have a direct conversation. As well as on the ship. Dexter, you can, there's a pulsing button to then sort of allow Steppy to transverse.
To grab the lizard.
Yeah.
Get the lizard.
Rob the lizard.
Dexter would just ask you, you got everything done you need to get done?
Steppy is gonna just give you the like, let me tell you about it.
Sounds good, slaps the button.
Sounds good, slap.
Does
You
that
slap
just
the button. And Steppy, it's an extremely strange sensation. This being atomized down to the molecular level, that way you can be transported through.
I start screaming.
Yeah, every single electron that like creates every single atom that is you, every photon that creates you is just screaming.
No, yeah, but like as I feel it,
And then as you rematerialize step by
You're
step by
still
step.
screaming. Yeah.
I'm
So
still
Dexter, you hit the button. For a moment, Steppy just sort of pauses where he's at, and then you see from his feet up to his head, he just sort of gets digitized in, and by the time he it's a distant. It just gets louder and louder as like his actual mouth and vocal cords materialize.
Reverse Doppler effect.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Steppy tongue lolling out of his mouth just looks at you with just his eyes are as dead as you've ever seen them, and he just does Why the fuck wouldn't you warn me?
It's a voice that's like 2 octaves lower than you've ever heard before.
Because it wouldn't have helped.
Why
You
did
still
you
would have
warn
had to
me?
do it.
You still would have had to do it, my guy.
Here, have some
thing.
jerky.
And I give you the biggest eyes you've ever seen. My eyes are just 50% of my head at this
How
point.
do they get bigger?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They shouldn't be able to, but like,
And yet-
my eyes almost fall out, and then they go to
That's what
normal
she said.
level. I give you a hug. Oh sheesh! And I give you a hug. And
Oh, sheesh.
tell you I've missed you.
Oh, I return the hug and offer you jerky.
And then I lean back from the hug and look up at you and say, I swear to fucking God, if you don't warn me about that fucking shit. And then I give you a hug again and keep talking like Stephanie.
What are the proportions
Hold that
when
shit again,
Steppy
motherfucker.
and Dexter hug? How does that alignment work?
How tall is Steppy?
Like 4'5".
I'll say
Where
4
does he
foot
hit
5.
on you?
He's probably belly button then, right?
Probably about.
Maybe
Yeah.
sternum.
Yeah, sternum.
Yeah, so you get threatened by a toddler.
Shrink.
But a toddler I love.
Shrink, tall man.
So I
And
pat
a
the head.
toddler's...
Oh, and as you pull away, Dexter's gonna look down and you say, "Hey, super sorry. Hope Rock threw out your leftovers though."
He said,
Hold
he said
on.
here,
Hold on,
Hold on, not Obrock.
you all heard it.
I'm still winning the game. I still haven't gotten anything swept in my head yet. I'm so proud of me.
but
you did it.
Not that I'm not proud of you. I'm proud of you too, but
That's the implication.
I'm not.
Steppy for
Sorry.
a second will mishear you and
You
hear
don't
Hope
deserve
Rock
it.
be like, I know he isn't talking about that godly artificer that once existed.
That super handsome, nice guy that I read
It's
about
the
that one
gorgeous
time.
orc that led a revolution. Definitely not him.
certainly not.
You're talking about the captain. Oh yeah, no. I realize I'm just gonna apologize for being late and start talking to you about fungus.
That's fair. I will half listen to you talk about fungus and half read the technical manuals.
No part of me cares if you're paying attention.
Nice. Then we may drop that down to 25% listening.
Honestly,
Yeah.
fun. I just need to tell somebody about it. I've dealt with a
Cool.
lot of fun.
I just gotta be talking. It doesn't matter if anyone's listening. I just gotta be talking.
Sometimes,
Fair.
yeah.
I want one of Steppy's stories from this.
All right.
As you're sitting on the and Steppy, even though you're very much absorbed in the mushrooms, even you, like, as you're walking around doing that ADHD thing of like, I have to walk and I have to talk at the same time,
Yeah.
you notice and recognize, like, wow, this ship is really fucking nice. Is this the same ship? And
Is
you
this-
think
Are we in the same place? Did the other one teleport? Wait a second.
I'm confused.
Wasn't this place much shittier?
didn't this suck?
Didn't this kind of suck?
That's a perfect way to phrase that in front of the guy whose ship it is. That is a really killer way to
Honestly,
do
This place
that.
kind of sucked before?
Honestly,
Hey, it sucked
I'll
before.
make it canon.
Steppy's like, wasn't this shittier? And Hobo's like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
it was.
Definitely a
was.
lot shittier.
Solemn nod.
Y'all made me some good fucking money.
Yeah, we did.
So, the story, the one story, is Steppy is just gonna start talking about how he and a friend of his are doing a habitat for fungal creatures that were abandoned and all this other shit. And the story that you do catch is he's complaining about how fungal bears don't have good eyesight, but they have really good senses of smell. So, like, while trying to get an injured one over there, it kept finding dead creatures. And just in order to get it to follow him, because it was not following him, I had to do animate dead on one of the creatures.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
So I had to make this fucking fungal bear follow a fucking deceased possum back to the habitat just so we could give it proper care and smear its wounds with poop.
Oh boy.
So you see Dexter fold down the edge of the page he's on and close the book and look at you. Steffi, I have a question to ask, and I'd appreciate if it stayed in this room.
Steffi shuts up.
When you animate a corpse,
Steffi's gonna look worried. You paused too long. I'm not look worried.
how tempted are you every time to make them dance?
Steppy will lower his voice and say, "Does this stay in this room?"
This absolutely stays in this room.
Cool. That possum danced the entire way.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you at all. I do it every time. I do it every time.
It was like
Every time.
It was in a literate YMCA the entire time.
Every time.
Even the fungal bear's
Glorious.
like,
And then Steppy's gonna lean back and be like, "Not that I don't respect the dead."
No,
of course not. Of course not.
No.
But every time,
dead,
the answer is every time. Every time.
You know, like,
absolutely.
If other people are watching, I don't do it, but no one was watching this
if
time. So
other people are watching, no, it's just a zombie. But if it's like just me and a corpse and a fungal bear who's smelling shit, like, no, he don't care. He's gonna go in that direction anyway.
But it also, if there's a large group of them and it needs to like take a group of casters to like reanimate this dead, I just feel like it would be a missed opportunity to not have them dance to Thriller.
I mean,
really
really, truly.
So when it
Or
when
spooky
it
scary
comes to-
skeletons.
when me and my when me and my homies go and like save some fungal creatures, like
Oh yeah.
But
The whole
listen,
squad.
it kind of turns into a rave. I'm not even gonna lie to you, like it really is a party, like, and we're doing good too, you know. So it's like a festival without like being bad for the atmosphere, you know, without the air dust.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Dexter's just gonna shake his head and be
It's
like, yeah, no, I mean,
It's like a fish concert without the nitrous balloons, you know.
yeah, no, you're just, when you're right, you're right. Shit. And then he's getting back to reading his book.
And I'll go back into a different story about like cute little dumb funguses.
You whole dumb funguses.
Because listen, once people use their spores, they just let them go, and that's so disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like sad little fucking shiitakes roaming the street.
They never knew no other way.
You raised them on that cow turd like they were your own, and then you're just gonna send them out there?
Just
Fuck
gonna
you.
cut them loose.
It's not right. So I've been making a shitty habitat that they love, and it's perfect for them.
Yeah. You Noah, you asked me if there were any specific locations that you would have for that. Yeah. The district that you're setting up this habitat in, it's one of like the few places in Alexandria in the city where no one really likes to. It's just it. So the intent with Alexandria as a city was to create some sort of ecosystems that was represented in every sort of portion of the world. Gainesville, Florida included. So unfortunately, the portion of the city where that's at is New Gainesville.
A lot of panty sniffers in your face.
Also, everybody hydrate.
Oh shit!
I just did.
Oh, let me hydrate.
I realized we hadn't done one yet, so we gotta.
I feel like if we get a hydration alert, everybody has to obnoxiously be refreshed afterwards to make it worthwhile. Yeah. Yeah.
What is this, a Mentos commercial?
Do you want it to be?
No, they were too
Not
happy.
sponsored. Not
Do
No.
I want to do some more research. I don't know that we want to be sponsored by Mentos.
That's fair. But we can dunk on
We
Mentos.
we already had to check on if Gene Wilder got
I
canceled before he
know.
passed.
The theme of the day is fact checking.
Fact check your shit.
No.
Unless
good
you're
thing to
making it
have.
up. So, with a few hours of downtime before the evening fully sets in.
Oh, is my room? Do I notice my room is broken into?
Well,
I
we
don't
did
think we
not
actually made
successfully
it
break
into-
into
Yeah.
your room, but you have to walk through the dojo. So, okay, question.
Do
Yes.
I know that they tried to get into my room? That's
Probably.
What, that's it.
Well, the first thing you would notice is Mara and Andy.
Well, so here's my question. If
Yeah.
so Mara would have like told Mara would have essentially told Andy Dexter has a few rules. Number 1 being don't kill someone unless they kill first. Now, in practicing those were your exact words. Don't kill unless someone else kills first.
I can almost guarantee you, don't kill someone unless they're trying to kill you first.
You
can
said unless they
almost
kill first.
guarantee that.
That was at the bar.
That's Mara's interpretation of the rule.
This
Okay.
was
All
Mara.
right.
I have to
Already
go back
so
to listen,
low.
but that's what I have wrote down. It's fine. But so Mara would have like kind of explained a little bit about sparring, and then she probably would have just like, since he
Started
didn't
kicking the
respond to
shit out
slow
of it.
things, she would have gone faster and not like made contact with him immediately.
Okay.
But like, my question is,
yeah.
if would Andy start sparring back? Like if Mara was like showing him things and like teaching him things, and if so, I just I assume he's got a high strength thing.
Oh no! I just walked in on you jumping an android.
Like my brain was immediately like, okay, you're fighting a robot. Is this robot strong? Because if like, just imagine it. Like he finally gets up. He's like, okay, I'm learning. I've got this. Like you've taught me things. And the first punch just sends Mara fucking flying.
That'd be really funny.
I mean, yeah, that's
Like,
that's
I've been teaching you these. I'm showing you the moves. You're learning the moves really well. And she's like, okay, let's go.
hit me with what you got. Hit me with
And
what you got.
throws the first punch, and he responds and just fucking flies her as Steppy and Dexter come in the room.
So you give Andy a quick little like rundown, a shadow box of like, this is
Basic moves.
Yeah.
A couple.
Little combos.
Combos. It's like, what's my
Dexter-
brain work?
Dexter and Steppy. Dexter, you've probably gone through the manual more than a couple of times at this point, and if you read much more, then it's gonna start overloading your senses. So you and Steppy decide, might as well just like make your way back through, check up with the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that you see is Mara giving an attempt at teaching the android some sort of boxing form.
How well
It's
is he
not-
picking it up?
He's picking up exactly what you teach him incredibly well. Is it good technique? No.
Mara's got great, like, if he's following her exactly, Mara's got great technique.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not for an android though.
Yeah.
But
let's recap here. How
Yeah.
tall is Mara?
Mara's like 5'2".
And she uses a sword, right?
But she spars with she's always sparred with you with fists or like wooden practice swords or like non-real, non-her weapons.
And how tall is Andy?
Tall.
Because I'm not saying Mara can't fight. I'm just saying there may be some that's lost in translation when Mara is trying to teach Andy how to box. And maybe, just maybe, there would be somebody else on the ship who could do that a little bit better.
Listen,
maybe just maybe.
7 feet tall.
You're absolutely right.
Jesus God!
Yeah.
Woof. Did not realize he was that big.
Yeah, he's 7
That's
feet
why
tall.
I say that's why I was like, in my head,
Well,
she
and-
probably goes flying.
And to say that your technique is not great is to compare that to the
That's fair.
is to compare that to the way that Dexter has been trained. Mara is good at throwing a punch and getting scrappy. That does not necessarily mean that if someone who was an expert boxer were to watch you would then say, yeah, this kid could fight in the ring.
Yeah, she
could fight in a bar without getting her ass kicked.
She's less boxing and more like, I don't know, finesse.
There you go.
It's that like you've trained a very specific kind of martial arts style.
She's more elegant in her fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make an acrobatics check for me.
Do a flip.
Acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
Do a flip.
Ooh, I rolled pretty low, so an 11.
Okay. So you give the AI enough for it to be able to understand what you're asking for. So Andy starts to follow you and watch as you're sort of dancing around him. And as you go to like give a fake punch, he responds by blocking and pulling his left arm back, and you can hear some of the mechanical of like gears locking. And you in slow motion watch his fist come right at your solar plexus and sends you off in the other direction. You bounce a couple of times on the floor, and Steppy and Dexter, you see all of this.
Steppy asked Dexter if this is cool.
So are we mad about this?
This is my first time meeting Andy, so I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at Dexter and I'm like, so do I help him or her?
Mara has got, like, if you look at her face, she's like breath knocked out of her, but her eyes are just like, holy, like impressed.
Christmas.
Like, holy shit.
Dexter's just gonna start walking to Andy and just look back at Mara and be like, "You good?"
You get a thumbs up, but like she's not good.
From her back, flat on her back is where you get the thumbs up.
Yeah.
She's not dead.
Steppy's gonna greet you with "How's it going?" and use that as his healing word. Steppy's just gonna be like, so how's it going? And then you're gonna feel a little better.
Fuck, that's incredible.
He's learning great. He's doing great. And Bruised Ego is going to start walking to her room.
I'm
like she'll walk past Andy and like hit him on the shoulder and be like, "You did excellent, good job," and she's gonna like limp back to her room.
Yeah. As you say that and you move past him, he says, "You as well," and he slaps your back.
Ow.
Yeah. Mara's gonna walk through the kitchen and get a giant glass of water and just like as soon as she's around the corner from people being able to see her, she just like she goes from like, "Oh, this is fine," to, "Oh, this is not fine.
This is not okay."
Steppy will properly introduce himself to Andy. Very excited.
You've met Andy.
I was at the house before we split.
Yeah.
Oh, he's okay. Cool. Then I'm gonna like reiterate, like, hey,
hello again, Andy.
Yeah, buddy. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. You hit people now. That's cool.
That's wild.
That's wild. Big fan. What was that? Click, click, bang. Nice.
God damn it, Noah. So Dexter's gonna put his hand on Andy's shoulder. He's gonna be like, so is Mara teaching you sparring?
Correct.
Okay, so something to keep in mind about sparring, you don't want to hurt the person you're sparring with. That's kind of the difference between sparring and violence.
It's about testing abilities.
Processed.
That makes sense? Good.
Processed.
Good, I'm glad. That's awesome. Also,
great, love that for us.
Debbie's gonna say, so you should try that on Dexter instead of Mara.
I mean, Mara definitely would have tried to act like everything was absolutely fine.
Yeah, as a druid, my insight's pretty high, so I assume I know you're fucking lying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deception.
Dexter's more concerned about just making sure that Andy understands the idea of restraint, because maybe that should have been the first lesson you taught him before you taught him violence.
I rolled a pretty damn good deception, so...
like maybe the first thing you teach the little baby AI is how to appreciate music and the good parts of life, to maybe build a positive imprint instead of violence.
Maybe that's what you do.
I was teaching him protection. I was teaching him protection of himself and the party. Number one thing you should know going into the world, into a strange world, know how to protect yourself.
And Dexter and Mara will have that conversation.
That's perfectly fine. I rolled a 27 in my deception of like, I'm fine, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Just so you're aware.
Hold on, let me roll my insight real quick.
Yeah, let me roll my.
Yeah.
You're not in the room.
Wanna bet?
She's walking past Crystal.
You're right. That's my bad.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Instead of 27.
27.
17.
God.
Dexter,
mine's a 26.
After you clear up for Andy that like we need to have some sort of restraint, he starts he starts with I want to thank you for being so nice now. And then you realize as he continues talking, he's just repeating the lyrics to Otis Redding's I want to thank you. And like it's coming like it's a very genuine delivery. It's a very genuine delivery, but it's absolutely word for word.
Word for word.
It's almost rhythmic if an android could have rhythm.
And he can't.
Oh, that android's gotta have rhythm. Who do you think's playing bass?
He doesn't yet though.
That's true, he doesn't yet. We gotta work on that. Dexter will be amused and a little touched. And a little proud.
Yeah, it's because it's a command you gave him. It's one of the things that when he goes to sleep, it's gonna run.
It's true.
So,
It's so
Crystal, your insight.
Oh, I only got a 17.
Okay. Mara just limps by and Crystal's like, you okay?
You good?
You good?
I taught Andy some sparring techniques. He's doing great. I'll be in my room.
Did you teach him not to hurt you while you're sparring? I'm not gonna.
She's gone.
Yeah. She's like, did you teach? Oh, you're gone. All
Yeah,
right,
she's
already gone.
Shit happens, I guess.
All right. Cool.
She'll learn or she won't. I don't.
She'll figure it out eventually. Maybe.
Or she won't. So that's not my responsibility.
Android 101, teach them not to hurt you first.
Yeah.
Like, just maybe.
Maybe, just maybe.
But would Mara have known that? No.
Should Mara have maybe known that? Probably.
Sweet warrior baby absolutely wouldn't.
It's true. It's true.
All robots she's interacted with have already known that.
Sweet warrior baby's like, what do you mean everything I love hurts me?
Yeah.
What trauma?
And
What trauma?
Oof.
everything I love hurts me and everything I love dies.
Sorry, too real.
That's how the world works.
Too real. My bad.
This is a fantasy game?
Guys, this is getting a little
It's
too
based in reality.
This is a fantasy Arby's.
This is a fantasy
Wendy's.
This is a fantasy
Man,
Wendy's.
this is a Wendy's.
What would you guys like to do with your last few hours of your first day of travel?
Travell.
I would shore up Andy's form.
I'm gonna grade
Okay.
everybody.
Teach him how to fight as a big robot.
Exactly. I was like, admittedly, I'm not 7 foot, but I would probably translate a little bit better.
And
coming from me.
I would assure everyone that I would be cooking breakfast and they wouldn't have to worry about it.
Great.
Speaking of Steppy, do you walk into the kitchen? Do you go in and check any of that out?
Oh yeah.
So you were questioning it a little bit when you were in the bridge with Hoban and Dexter. When you get down to the dojo, you're like, I'm pretty sure we didn't have a dojo before. I'm not certain, but I think we didn't.
I'm pretty sure.
And you get up to the kitchen, and this is when you know this is not the same ship. This isn't the same ship. There is a full gas range. There is a floor to ceiling cabinet situation. There is an island set out for you to actually cook, and a fun little button right at the edge of the island.
There's a just a button?
Yeah.
Is there any label on the button?
No, it's a pretty
I
clean
press the
design,
button.
so there aren't really any labels.
I
You press the button. So you press the button, and out comes. Hold on, I need to double check myself before I.
Before you misquote yourself.
Before you
Nope.
wreck yourself?
I know
Check
what it's
yourself
called.
before wrecking yourself.
Yeah.
Gotta double check myself before I double wreck myself.
So everyone else on the ship, when you came into the kitchen, y'all were fucking grateful that this was a new state-of-the-art kitchen, that there was going to be essentially no way for Steppy to mess this up,
That's what y'all think. Sorry.
including what Steppy now recognizes as the Child's Mark V, which is an AI that is specifically designed only to cook and to ensure that everything that leaves that kitchen is food safe
And tasty, I assume?
and
And
tasty.
tasty.
Steppy does not have the
Julia
reaction.
Child. I get it.
Yeah, Steppy, you recognize what this is. Your reaction is up to you.
I look at it and press the button to see if I can make it go away.
Yeah, whoop, right back in.
Steppy immediately relaxes and mutters to himself, "Oh, I'll never need that."
Everybody else got personalized accoutrement. Steppy got a nemesis.
Steppy also gets a personalized accoutrement. He just hasn't gone to his room yet.
Sure. His terrarium.
Oh my god. So anyway, not meta knowledge at all. I get done with the kitchen and go to my room.
Steppy.
Zero meta knowledge there.
I love you
You
so
passed
much.
by Crystal getting out of the bathtub butt naked.
Nudity doesn't bother Steppy.
It doesn't bother Crystal either. She doesn't mean anything by it. She just doesn't understand that that's inappropriate.
Steppy,
And that is just a character trait.
honestly, Steppy just wears pants because he thinks they look cute on him.
They do. They do.
How do you deal with your tail situation?
I rip a hole in it.
Okay. I was
Like
is
a
there
man. Like a man does. I rip a hole in my underwear in my pants for my fucking tail.
Actually,
are they
underwear-
special pants?
the
Is there a
underwear
butt
situation-
flap?
No.
the underwear situation is really easy. I just flip it around. You know, the little cock.
Because it's
hole
got the hole with the...
Yes.
Yeah.
You got a dick hole.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
did just have a
Brendan,
really...
does your underwear
I
have
put
any
my-
holes in it?
I
Yes.
put my-
The company
I put my
that
tail
made
in
it
the
put a
dick
hole in the front for my
Mhm.
penis.
Yeah.
Where's that from? Is that Hank answering questions or John?
No, it's Brendan Lee Mulligan from
That's
Game
a good
Changer.
one. That's the one.
It's the lie detector Game Changer.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the manufacturer put holes in them for my penis.
You'll notice when Steppy wears cargo shorts, they're reversed and the zipper's removed for his tail.
That's so cute.
You don't want to get it
Just
caught.
button around the tail.
Hell yeah.
I'm fully confused that it's a penis hole, and I just assume they made it.
It's
for
a
my-
tail hole.
How accommodating.
No one's
So
ever.
accessible.
No one's ever told me different.
Who
and
would
I'm just-
dare?
I don't know. I don't know what these metal teeth are for, but they fucking suck, and I always take them out. They hurt my tail. I don't know why people have them.
They hurt my back penis.
Oh,
I-
Stubby never refers to his tail as his back. That's
For
his
like
tail.
3 seconds.
grand-
I was
his
gone for
grandma-
3 seconds.
His
No.
grandmother has one of those. Okay, it's his tail. My grandma does not have a back penis.
Okay,
Thank
but I have an
you.
important question because I don't genuinely
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Do geckos have a cloaca,
I don't think so.
or is it an
Thank
actual
you.
butt?
Thank you.
I don't
for-
want to know what Steppy's got going on down there.
I
Thank
do.
you. Thank you for asking. I will look it up and get back to you shortly.
Okay, thank you.
I think Sarah's already looking it up based on their expressions.
Excellent. I need to know.
Okay, so Sarah, please tell me if I have a cloaca.
If you're a cop, you have to tell
I
me.
feel like Iris would have like a herpes.
If I have
Okay,
a cloaca,
okay.
you have to tell
You ready?
me.
Are you ready?
I
Are you
have a
ready?
cloaca.
I'm ready.
You legally have to tell me. If I have a-
So what you
Or-
have
Mhm, mhm,
are pre-anal pores.
mhm.
You have a distinct V-shaped row of pre-anal pores.
What the fuck does that mean?
Who doesn't? Next.
Pores, P-O-R-E-S.
Wait,
Okay.
what do they do? What do they do? Do I have a special ability?
Does he
just
poop
talk
like
about-
like a Play-Doh like extruder? Like
if you squeeze Steppy hard enough, you stamp a V.
I'm sorry, I put that
If
image in
Steppy
anybody's
sits
mind.
down on something and he's not wearing pants on a hot day and he sits it back up,
Oh yeah,
is
you
there a
can
V
tell.
left?
You can tell.
A little sweaty V.
Like a cat
Sweaty, but
butthole?
yeah, you do have a cloaca. You have pre-anal
Where-
pores and a cloaca.
And a cloaca.
I
Alright.
knew.
So listen, no one knows that because Steppy's a gentleman and he doesn't talk about his cloaca.
Of course.
Oh yeah, certainly. So
I mean, I feel like
course.
Iris has
Noah,
like a
Noah.
herpetology textbook.
Noah, on the other hand, is a whore. I'll tell you all about my
I will absolutely. I'll show you my
But-
I'll
cloaca.
give you
Steppy
so
is a
much
gentleman.
information about my
And
cloaca.
if you ask, if Iris ever asks Steppy about his cloaca, Steppy grabs whatever like necklace or the closest thing he has to a necklace and just says, "Oh my," and runs away.
Clutches his pearls.
Never.
I feel like there would be a point in our
Clutches his
relationship
pearls.
where you'd like run into something and she would be like, "Did you hurt your cloaca?"
Steppy turns like blush pink and just like sticky runs away.
What do you know about my cloaca?
How do you know
Probably,
about my
honestly,
cloaca?
I'd probably run up the wall and just like scream, "How do you know about my cloaca?" and then run on the ceiling.
My cloaca.
And then it's a bonding moment later when you're like, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry."
I really didn't need to draw attention to
and
it,
I'm
man.
like, "Listen, it's fine, but like,
I just got stressed out. I shouldn't have responded that way.
Normal, a lot of other lizard folk don't have cloacas. It's just like a gecko thing. So like, I don't really like talking about her. Okay, so or him. Sorry, I don't like talking about him. So leave my cloaca alone, and we're good."
On yesterday's Good Mythical More, they said something about a cloaca. It's a hole in one.
It was a hole in one.
I know.
It's technically correct.
It's so good and so terrible.
I want to think that Iris says that joke after Steppy says this, and he just gets up and walks out.
That is offensive.
Walks in the
dare you.
space. Just right out the
We were
airlock.
having a real moment, and you wanted to go and make my cloaca a joke. We're done.
Oh, well then. All right.
Don't talk shit about my cloaca.
So Steppy, I return to my question as you come to your room. What would make Steppy feel most at home on the ship?
Like,
I might have an idea.
you know what? I'm gonna full trust. I'm gonna full send and full trust.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with your idea.
All right. So you slide open the door.
Bonding between me and God. So.
Is anyone else with Steppy? Or is everyone else like doing their own thing?
Crystal has
Either
found
answer is great.
a towel and is just slightly behind Steppy as he goes to his room, because she did see the other two trying to break into it earlier, and she was not going to help that. But she did want to look and actually see what was going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
Steppy looks confused on why you put on the towel, because like he didn't give a fuck, and then
she's just wet. The only reason she has a towel is because she was just in the bathtub and she doesn't want to drip
It's a
everywhere.
new ship. I
just don't want to drip everywhere.
I don't want to trick water everywhere.
It's not that she's wearing the towel. She's actively drying off with the towel while she's following you.
I'd say since I just got on the ship, all I have on is a long vest.
I love that so much.
It's okay, you can't see my cloaca. Calm down, guys.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like it
cloaca.
doesn't matter. It's like you're like a Ken doll down there.
Just scaly.
I'm like a Ken doll with eczema, maybe.
Where? Oh my god.
Oh.
Scaly as fuck. Sorry.
So, you open your door. It shifts to the left, absorbed into the wall as a little pocket door does. Everyone else's room, Steppy, you don't necessarily know this, but Crystal, everyone else's room is maybe twice the size of this. And you recognize that that's by design.
Steppy loves that.
Yeah.
Steppy, big fan.
There's like everyone else's room has these wood floors with like various carpeting and choices for rugs. What Steppy has in your room is muck. You step into it and it's like a little squishy.
Yes.
It's mud.
Yes.
And you take a nice big sniff. And there are like large pieces of furniture, like a table, a chair, a bed, but they are mushrooms.
Thank you so much. I was hoping I want to sleep. I want to sleep like that caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
Yes,
Ooh.
1,000%. There's the whole room is lit by the purple UV lights that are just framing the whole room. There is a portion of the wall that is filled with various little bugs and creatures that are for either friend or snack
or food.
This is luxury. This is I turn the happiest shade of blue Crystal's ever seen.
Crystal, he almost like fades into the darkness that this room creates. He's so fucking happy. You can really only see him because of some of the bioluminescence of these mushrooms.
Feel free to like tell me if this doesn't work, but can my speak with plants work with fungus?
Yeah.
Cool. I immediately cast that and talk to my furniture.
Speak with mycelium.
I would like to talk to my furniture. Thank you.
What do you say to your furniture?
I thank them and I tell them how good they look.
Dude. You look dope too.
I turn my shade to match them and I lay on my table.
Oh, sick.
Crystal's just standing in your doorway with her toes squishing in the little muck and just squelching into it a little bit. And she's just got dirty toes.
Steppy just leans his head up, looks at Crystal and says, "These guys are fucking dope." And then puts his head back on the table and just like tells them what's up. And tells them what they are and how I'll make sure that they stay beautiful.
So Crystal squishes her toesies a little bit longer and then just like quietly steps back, closes the door while Steppy is just let him be in his little terrarium with all of his mushrooms. And then she's gonna go press her puddle button so she can wash her feet off.
Puddle button.
As I'm talking to the mushrooms, I'm silently deciding which bugs are for like cleaning and which bugs are for eating.
I feel like at some point in the future, Iris is gonna come like study the bugs.
Oh yeah.
Do little sketches of them.
I'll bring you like after I talk to my furniture, I bring you a handful of bugs and discuss them with you.
Just let them roam around under a bright light.
I'm like, bro, look at these bugs I got.
Hell yeah.
You are never gonna have a problem with Mara bothering you in your room.
Oh, that room is all you, buddy.
Yep. The first time she sees that, she's gonna like smile at you and be like, this is
That's
really
great.
nice. This is great for you.
I drop one on the floor to see your reaction.
A bug?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of bug?
The scariest one.
Probably a cricket.
A scary bug?
Probably like a large cricket.
A very large cricket.
Okay.
Does he sing a song?
No.
No, but he does talk shit.
I don't have my frog weirdo.
Does he play a little chirpy cricket song with his little cricket legs?
Does Mara have any reaction?
Fuck that umbrella carrying son of a bitch.
I'm not talking about Jiminy.
She's got a slight reaction of like,
don't care for that little bitch.
Like if it jumps near her, since it's a cricket, she'll kind of like hop a little bit away from it, and she's like, but not like, ew, gross. Just kind of like, don't drop them.
Don't
thank you.
Don't do that.
There's
a different. I don't hate this. I don't like it.
I'll acknowledge that reaction and catch the grasshopper with my tongue. Get a little snack.
That one might get a little like.
Make a Constitution save.
Me?
Crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not me. I'm having a snack.
13.
It's healthy, full of root.
Okay, yeah, that's a fine. It freaks you out to like actually watch because you're trained to watch these minute movements of creatures, humans, animals. So to actually have your eyes be trained on the bug, Steppy's tongue, the bug connecting to the tongue, and then the back
she's
in.
She's also just like, I thought they were your friends, and she's gonna turn around and walk away from you like, I don't understand this. I don't understand.
Steppy's gonna be confused and be like, I had a handful of bugs and you assumed I was friends with all of them? You think I'm a freak?
You had these are like fairly big bugs. You said it was a fairly big cricket, and you've been walking around with, is it a ladybug?
Look, I've been walking around with a mixture of bugs, but that juicy motherfucker was a snack.
Well, like my mechanical thing, I think is based off of like a roly-poly.
Okay.
What is
crickets
yours?
are food. Land-based isopod friend.
Thank you. Roly-polies, they're great for the dirt. I'll leave them in my fungus.
No, do you remember what you had? A little like animal friend. What was it?
Yeah, the June bug. It was a June
bug. Yours is a June bug.
I was like, it's not a roly-poly.
My fat June bug. My fat June bug is still.
So the only time she's seen you like holding live larger bugs, is they were friends.
Nah, you've seen me hit flies before in the face.
He's definitely eaten flies.
You've seen me hit flies before in the face.
With my mouth.
So with
you.
No,
did you not hear it?
No.
Oh,
what'd she do?
She was just like she needs to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
She's like, bitch, let me out right now.
Anything else in particular that anyone's doing with their evening?
Dexter will, on the way after he gets done sparring with Andy, on the way back to his room, swing in and look at Steppy's room and just look into the room, look at Steppy, hit him with a and then leave.
This makes sense.
I'll flick some mud at you as you try to close them.
Make a dex save.
You're cleaning that up. Immediate dad mode. You keep this mud in this room.
As you look down, you see just toe prints on the thing that slowly fades.
Of Crystal.
From Crystal's muddy toes, because she had to go to her puddle in order to wash her toes off.
You just start. As soon as Steppy gets back, you start to see mud trails. That being said, who's gonna clean it up?
Steppy.
Who's gonna clean it up? Steppy. Thank you. I'm gonna get up first thing in the morning and the mud trash will be gone. So I don't know why you complaining.
Iris would take her sweet time getting out of the hot tub, and then she would go back to her room and change into her pajamas, and then just like swan around the ship in like a oh no, my husband's dead feather robe.
Yes.
Oh no, my husband's dead.
Yeah.
Bro, I know exactly what type of robe you're talking about too. That's so
funny. The rich widow robe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, fucking excellent use of swan as a verb. That's fucking rad.
It'd be pink, because of course it would be.
Yes. So, as you're all enjoying your time resting, swanning, I would like everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oofa.
Good at those. Oh, that's nice.
We crossed one threshold.
I got a 20.
Is it the right threshold?
27.
27?
27.
I got a 25.
That's a natural 19.
Dirty 16.
I got a natural 8.
Okay.
Yeah, natural 19 for 27. So.
Yeah, 25.
There's a thing. You know.
You know.
Exactly.
I just found out this dice app I got works with me shaking my phone.
Yo,
that's fun.
That's fucking sick.
That's some good design.
I threw my phone on the bed and it bounced and the dice shook, and that
That's
made me
some good UX.
That's so cute.
Rad as hell.
Nice.
So, Steppy.
Yes.
You start to settle in and relax among your mushroom furniture.
The homies.
And you try to, especially with setting up the sanctuary for all of these fungal-based creatures that don't have homes, you're very much reminded of the time that you spent with your dad, who taught you how to forage and all of that. And you try to recall his face. And you know what? For the life of you, you can't think of it. In fact, you can't think of what his name was. Mara, after watching Steppy slurp up that bug,
most of the evening she'd be meditating.
Yeah.
So
are you guys talking about the hors d'oeuvre?
Yes.
Yeah, the hors d'oeuvres.
The hors d'oeuvres.
Here's the
Steppy would be panicking. He would immediately get up once he couldn't.
Mara, as you sitting in your meditation, one of the things that you use to ground yourself is recalling some of the natural plants of your home planet. And Hoban did his best to get you what he could find based on your retellings of what you experienced, but none of the plants are the exact same. And so you're sitting and tapping into this meditation. You're trying to remember what your home even looked like.
Like just the place, or like
you can remember the people, you can remember you can remember names of places, you can remember that these places exist. You can't recall what they would look like. You can't recall the way that the routes that you would take throughout the forest, these trails that you have memorized into your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot remember any of them.
Like I feel this way. So have I started like hardcore trancing, or
this is hardcore trance that you sort of realize, okay, I'm getting a little floaty away. I need to reground myself. I usually reground myself by remembering walking these trails, and I can't recall that. Dexter.
Yes.
While
I'd like to remind the court I rolled a 16, and that's more than average.
That's true. That is more than average.
I'm sitting here looking at my message going, I gave them so much ammo.
I didn't. And I feel like an asshole. So if you need me to tell you what I forgot, I will, and I'll make it heartbreaking.
Well, you usually wind down the evening by reading something you've read before. That way, it isn't super taxing on the brain. So the copy of The Last Unicorn that you've found recently in your possession, very helpful. You get a few pages into it and you realize you don't remember who read this to you. And you start to sit back and flip through, and towards the middle or so of the book, a Polaroid falls out. What the Polaroid is the Miller family and the Dempsey family. And Dexter, you can't remember anyone in this photo.
I lied. I rolled a 21.
Does that change anything?
Fuck.
Crystal.
Woof.
While you're sitting at your puddle, you start to remember just, it's so weird. It's super weird. And like things like this happen every so often, you know, being a few hundred years old and such, where like you'll just remember this line of literature or something that someone would say, and you start remembering this phrase that Clary Sage would always mention. Actually, let me double check. I want to make sure that, because you gave me so much good information.
I gave you a lot of names too.
Yeah, it would be Clary Sage, who, when teaching you these star maps, warned to pass under the shadow of the space whale means to lose something we hold very dear. To retrieve it, you need only pass beneath the shadow of the space whale. Make a perception check.
Do I get advantage because of my eye stuff?
Nope.
Because I'm looking out at the universe, just the one. Okay.
That's why you get it.
Okay, 16.
It's a beautiful night, Crystal. I mean, it's always night. It's space.
Yeah.
But you like to refer to it as night. As you watch and pat your feet in the puddle, what you do not see is, as your ship soars through the galaxy, just a few ships worth of distance above you passes a 500-foot long whale. The lines of its body, its belly, etched in diamond starlight. Its back and tail covered with barnacles that are more closely aligned with asteroids that just get caught as this creature is moving through the sea of space. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Well done.
We passed under the space whale. And him take our memories.
Him take memories.
Him take the memories.
Weird. Sorry, I forgot to mention this before we left the planet, and for no reason.
For no reason whatsoever.
Dexter invested heavily in space harpoons. It's not a whim.
Just for no reason.
Whale repellent.
For no reason.
Thought you were about to say he ended up not being able to read. Oh my god, Birds, that would have sucked. If Dexter just couldn't read anymore.
So
No, it's cool. Stubby has a whale tracker embedded in his bag, so
yeah, so it's really funny. I forgot to tell you about his backstory.
So crazy.
Right in the cloaca.
So
During the
Stubby was
summers.
I was trained by Moby Dick, the whale himself.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Yeah, because that turned out real great for Ahab. So good for Ahab.
I was trained by Ahab. I was trained by the master of the story, Moby Dick. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Quag was the coolest, and everybody knew it because his name was Queequeg.
So anyway.
Yay! Emotional damage.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I need to remember how to close Modview so I can find out who's live right now. Hold on. I want to see who we're gonna raid. Anybody have ideas for who to raid? You can tell us in the chat if you want to.
So I have a question.
That sign can't stop me.
Please.
I can't
So
read.
Let's have questions.
If Mara is trancing, and one of the things that Mara
should we
uses
raid
to
into
ground
Critical
herself,
Role?
I think that'd be funny.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Does she have other abilities?
Emotional damage.
Other things to reach out to ground herself on, or is she going to be lost in trance for a while?
Spontaneum? Who's
That is a good
Spontaneum?
question.
I don't know Spontaneum.
TBD.
Workshopping. We'll just have Andy spar with you real quick. That'll wake you up.
No, you would be able to connect back with the time spent with your mother at the council tower.
Fabulous.
No.
Yes.
No, that would
Okay.
kill you if you did it again.
Yeah.
It would. I mean, it would not kill her,
Wouldn't
but
kill.
it would not
I
feel
was-
good.
Wouldn't be
I
a
was
great
really-
way to wake up, especially
I don't
after having
actually
the
think
trauma.
with one shot. It's fine.
I mean, she's currently trancing with her, like, essentially her power, so that doesn't sound like a good, positive thing. That might be a very much a, breaking of Dexter's first rule.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are unfortunately not going to be on tomorrow, as one of our players has some Game Daddy has to be a dad. So we will not be having What Dreams May Come tomorrow. But we should be back next Monday with, I believe, the penultimate episode of Chronicles of Corvus. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love you so much, and there's not a good goddamn thing that you can do about it. Have fun with Critical Role's four-sided dive, because I'm gonna be in there too, because I think that shit's hilarious. Anyway, love you, bye!
Bye.